here we go. Anthony here from the Best in the West. Today's about the concrete pump and starting a concrete pumping business, which for me is near and dear to me because this is where it all started for me. And the implications of starting here is the best sales technique ever because you get on so many different jobs and so many different contractors. You meet all kinds of people, finishers, the best, everybody. So then this spins into later, which goes hand in hand to a Bobcat business because all of your pump customers prior, once you built a repertoire of customers, have demoed it out. And for some reason in California, a lot of contractors don't have their own equipment, homeowners. There's a variety of people. It doesn't just narrow it down to concrete people. So you can demo and pump and become a service. And then later on in life, when you want to start a contracting business in concrete, you know all the concrete finishers, you pump and demo your own stuff, basically like I'm doing. I almost coined this because when I started, everybody just pumped or they demoed or they did concrete. They did one or the other. They didn't do all of them. It was very strange. I just couldn't believe that no one was entrepreneurial enough or seeing through the light at the end of the tunnel and figure out how many what an awesome sales technique this pump is. Plus, you're making bank where you're at. I mean, you're going to make over 200 grand, probably 250. Like all the guys I've taught on YouTube that have called me and started it, they're making like 2 grand a day, 2,500 a day, 1,500 a day in different states. If you bring this pump to whatever state you're at, you could revolutionize the way they lay concrete with a 2-inch line. I'm not talking about a swing tube pump, a rock valve pump with a 3-inch line. That's not viable. They had them out here for a while, and then it's just too much. So you could just up the PSI and use a 2-inch line in a ball valve pump. It's completely different. And pumping will give you work ethic, self-worth. It's just a different breed. It's been unbelievable for me. Like if I had to have a job and I was going to get, I wouldn't have probably had a family because I would rather have my wife at home with my kids to raise them and stuff. And with this, it really made it a very nice family life where I'd never missed any events of my kids. I was a good husband. I was always around. I pumped 6 days a week. I'd home by noon, 1 o'clock. It'll allow you a money in time and to do your own thing that keeps you so well balanced and rounded. It's almost one of the best things. I fell into it dumb luck. I never had any family members. I never knew anyone who did it. I told the story on podcasts and in my own videos and stuff like that, how I started. It was just luck. And I took it and ran with it. I did it in an era where there was no YouTube. I did it blind. There was no cell phone when I started. It was crazy, but it goes to show you if you're determined and you work hard, it'll pay off and you're honest. But it branches off into so many different things. It's unbelievable, especially with the concrete business. That's why I could never believe no one marketed himself like that. Now with the social media, if you market yourself right and you market it of what demographic of people you want to watch you. Like my original thought was to market it with contractors to see me or homeowners to see me to hire me. So it's all about getting other work from this without paying thousands of dollars of advertisement that they get their money, but you may or may not get work out of it. I didn't see eye to eye with that. So this is why I'm coming up to. I'm starting a master series, a pro series class. I'm going to have PDF files that you can buy of pumping, demoing, floating steps. I'm going to have everything you want. I'm going to have every chapter I do is going to have 2 to 4 books in it of different things to do. And then when the whole book's done, you'll be able to buy the whole book or individual things. Some people are just interested in the pump. Some are just interested in the floating steps. So whatever you guys want to do, once I get it going, I'm a little premature with the classes and what I'm going to sell and what I'm going to do coming up. We're putting it together now. So I have a crap load of videoing to doing and putting it all together, but it's going to be A1, excellent courses, and it'll be revolutionized. I'd want it to be like the coup de grace of concrete videos. There's nothing like it. There's no one who pumps, demos, pours at the highest end custom. There's no one that's going to match what I'm doing. So I'm going to make up courses and stuff like that. It'll be pro series of you can buy whatever you want coming up. And if people suggest what they want to learn, once I've done the ones I'm going to do first, the 8 or 10 of them first, I'll do those too on all the tools, where to get them. People have already wrote me with some great ideas. But concrete pumping for me, and with YouTube, well, you're working 20, 30 hours a week and you're making 3 grand a week more. You could easily, if you want to hustle, you could easily do 250. So if you're going to go to college and you want to be a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, yeah, you need a degree for that. For concrete pumping, you need about 2 or 3 months of training, and you're making over 200 grand a year. Where are you going to be in 4 years when you graduate with the debt? But some people are scholars and astute and want to go to school. Some people want to be outside. I'm speaking to people who love to be outside, love to be at different jobs every day. Some people feel secure going to a warehouse every day. It's all working hard. It's all admirable stuff to do. Pumping concrete's an honorable job. You're placing concrete for people at their house. Building houses is an honorable job. There's a lot of honor in what you do in building and crafts and using your hands. Something about it for me, but being a lawyer, an accountant, and helping people too, or a doctor is really honorable too. Whatever you want to do, that's what you choose. If you're a physical person, you like to be out in the sun, I'd look into this. This is a great opportunity. And other states do not have these ball valves. So if you can bring it there and get on course with the dispatcher and start bringing this to where you're at, you would be indispensable. They wouldn't even pour without you. See, there's no rakers, there's not five laborers. Everyone out here is skilled. That's Jonathan on the left. He's only been at it about a year, year and a half. The other guy's been at it probably 20 years. Javier, 30 years. Milton Senior's probably decade. These guys are aces. We made a screed up the middle. I gave him about 3 foot wet screed. And you learn all the terminology on the jobs. You talk to people who are willing to talk to you. You get all the terms down, the PSIs, the mixes as you go, the right terminology. It goes a long ways when you show up and what slump do you want? You wanted a 4 or 5. Okay. What PSI is this? You look at the ticket and you just got to know the lingo, which comes hand in hand with getting your degree doing this. You know what I mean? Because it is a degree. And some days when I was learning, I would have rather got kicked by a donkey and went back to bed than what happened to me. But it's just the nature of anything, you know. I had a guy that went with me sometimes who was learning to pump too when I first started. And sometimes we would pull up on the craziest commercial jobs you've ever seen in your life. And he would say, "Oh God, tell them that your pump won't start and call a different pump. Let's get out of here." But for me, I'm like, no, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to do the worst stuff. Well, I have the horsepower now and I'm young and I know better. I don't know, excuse me, I don't know better. And I've done the worst jobs you've ever done. So this becomes so easy for me. I roll up on stuff and they go, "This is a hard one." I look at it and I'm like, no, I've done way worse. And they're like, I used to do that. They're like, "Really? You're the right guy for the job, dude. Give me your card." This is what new customers would tell me. So it's all about marketing and what you want to do. If it shows if you love what you want to do in anything you do. But as far as a new business, it's starting solo. There's no employees. There's no material. It's you, your truck and pump, and your truck can be your everyday truck. So you have a pump and hose in back of your truck, and you're making $250,000 a year, and you're walking up on the job, and you're not starting as a labor green. You're not starting with a pick and digging trenches. You're above pay scale of everybody out there, which is absurd. I almost couldn't believe it was real when I started it. And then I added the Bobcat, and I knew every finisher from pumping. So it was easy for me to transition into demoing and then into contracting later. You just got to market yourself now with the internet, which in my courses, if people want me to do their social media and show them how to market it, I can do that. I'm going to have a course for that with my daughter, Ladybug, will be doing it, and how to market people. And so you'll start off really good getting in with your dispatcher and finding how many pounds, what the mix design is you need to pump to a 2 inch line. In the ready mix, I don't understand how they don't get it in other states. Their money's in how many yards their plant produces a day. 80% or higher of the jobs in SoCal are pumped with trailer pumps because the trucks and the plants can over book themselves and get there because trucks are always coming in and they're sending them out left and right. So they'll overbook the crap out of it. But with the pumps, 20-minute loads, 15-minute loads, wash out, and a wheelbarrow move out of the way while the next guy backs in. It's a system that is second to none anywhere in the world as far as everyday thousands and thousands and thousands of yards of concrete being laid on the ground in Southern California. It's a system that's just streamlined. So to jump on this wagon, if I was in a different state, I'd be racing to get a pump, but I have to make sure I got the right mix design, which I'll help with, what pump to buy. People sign up my course and pumping courses and stuff. They can FaceTime me and I can look at the pump and listen to it. But you got to realize you can't buy a pump states over and buy it sight on scene. You got to see them pump water through it. You need concrete to go through it and put it under pressure just to make sure it works and it'll pump. You can't just pump water. So watch it be pumped. Watch concrete go in the hopper and out the hose. And this pump, I mean, you do 400 or 500 feet on a regular basis. I used to do with this pump, but 250 and under is just pretty a cakewalk. They consider 200 feet of hose in California standard. Anything over 200 feet of hose, they charge more. This is a colored sand wash driveway I did that I'm going to be posting next week. It's diamond saw cutted. It's colored concrete. It's pewter. So you guys will see that next week. It looks really clean with the saw cut 5 foot diamonds on it. There's Johnson, same people I use forever. Once you get a relationship with the concrete guy, I don't switch if somebody's cheaper. I just stay to the same guy. I know what I'm going to get. I use the same finishers. I know what I'm going to get. Someone comes in cheaper. Cheaper's not always better. And then they know what kind of guy I am. They already know that I cut them off for money and I've been using them for years. So what is the guy, $50 cheaper a load for concrete? Johnson's on time. I like him. I've been friends with him since high school. He calls me up, how's the mud? How's it going? He knows how to run it, you know? You have to be personable. So I don't always go cheapest. I just go, it is what it is. And sometimes he says, I charge more. This was expensive. Johnson, don't worry about it. It's just collateral damage, dude. I don't really care. Everything goes smooth. There's so many things to be grateful for. So $50, I'm not really, doesn't really affect my life. But pumping concrete, as far as to be a dad and be a husband and have time on your hand, and your wife doesn't have to work, and then somebody else raising and indoctrinating your kid, I'm not into it. I wasn't into it at all. If I had have a regular job, I would have never had kids. When I did the math on it, it's designed to fail. So when I found this, I was like, I couldn't wait to have kids and get married and stuff. But prior to it, I was like, this just doesn't work. I was unskilled. I don't know what kind of job I was going to get. 40 hours a week's a lot unless you're putting it in for yourself. So if you put all the time into yourself learning this and doing this, it's not a death sentence for 40 years in a cubicle or in a warehouse. You're outside, you meet different people every day. Once you get really good, it's super smooth. You forge really good relationships with people. I don't hang out with anyone in the concrete industry per se, but I'm friends with all these guys on the job, and when we come back out here and we don't see each other for a while. But pumping concrete for any trade, there's no way you're gonna make 2 grand finishing concrete, or most contractors that take on all this work and responsibility and have all this debt don't make that. They don't know what they make. With this, it's so simple. It's black and white. You have your pump and you. When you do your taxes, you can keep track of every job you did and count how much you paid out and how much fixing your pump and your insurance and your phone. And that's probably your only overhead that I would think of as far as your business other than your living expenses. So this is as black as white as business as you get. The hard part is learning how to do it and getting the lingo down. And it's very crazy when you plug up. It's under pressure. It's a pea gravel pump. So when you turn it off and bleed the air off, the piston goes forward. So you're going to get an explosion. This is real pumping. This is how you get a real rhythm down. This is how you get good. This is how you get sequence with all the finishers. There's not a gap in the stroke and the line surgeon, and you're putting it up over the forms and it's yanking them. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how people do that for a living. You really don't know how to pump till you've been under pressure with a ball valve, you know. But the payoff is it's so smooth. There's no jerking back and forth. It'll pump anything 2 inch line. It's designed to run all 2 inch. So I don't need anyone to help me with the hose. I can pump, get 5 feet ahead of the guys, go back, drop back, pull the hose back. It's a one-man job in Cali. And we run the hose. That's the standard here. It's a one-man job. You show up by yourself. They have guys on the job that drop back and help you, laborers. They're supposed to. I don't really care if they help me. I just said, do whatever you got to do. You guys are behind the concrete. I'll pull the hose myself. And they're like, Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's not that heavy as you think. Once you learn how to do it and maneuver it and pull it with your body, it's not that big of a deal. So we're just turning and burning on this slab, and I'm just probably making $750 in an hour. You know what I mean? That's why when you show up with equipment, you can justify what you make. You're doing the job of five guys. If they're wheelbarrowing this, you'd need four guys on this. You need guys raking it. You guys need screening it. It's just it's overwhelming of labor, amount of labor. Concrete's hard enough. It's been honed down into a science, and you're watching the science. You don't need to do that anymore. And if you don't want to evolve and you think that a buggy's faster, then God bless you, go do it. But that's not how they operate out here. And people make a lot of money doing this out here with a lot of time on their hands too. There's pumps literally everywhere. If you look at concrete, just the evolution of it, in the 70s, 50 years ago, they were still, some people use horses as transportation. It's only 50 years ago. Tw- um, YouTube is probably what, 20 years old max, I would think, I'm guessing. And the oldest videos I've seen are 10 years old prior of all the concrete videos I've watched. So this is on the evolution side of it, the cutting edge for you to get on it. And look at the way you represent yourself and the way you produce yourself so people see you. Your kids, your grandkids, four generations from now will see who you are. Some kids come from horrible families and they see you on there and hear you talk four generations down. They see they came from good stock. There's so many implications to posting, making money, marketing, your family to see you, your grandkids, your great grandkids. It's etched in the search engine forever. So to start your own video, your excuse me, business and video it of a library, a video library of what you've done and who you are is it's the first time in history that, generations, four or five generations from us now will see who they're where they came from and who they are. Thank you very much for watching the best in the West. Have a nice day.